Hello students, good morning to all of you. Welcome you all in this lecture of Electrical Machine 1. Code is W205. Unit we have already started with unit number 3, and topic is DC machines and types of communication. And myself, H.S. Saxena, working as Assistant Professor in Department of Electrical Engineering. So as per my previous lectures, which I basically delivered on this topic, that is the electrical machine one, means on the subject, and as per my basically delivered lectures, I already told you that electrical machine one is totally deals with the DC machines, and in electrical machine one we having basically 2 units of DC machine and 1 unit is of transfer, and remaining 2 units are the basics. Basic means the magnetic field, because if I want to convert one form of energy to the another, I need a coupling circuit. That coupling circuit is known as basically the magnetic circuit in this DC machine. Basically the electrical machine, the magnetic circuit we are in a need. Why we are in a need? Because if I want to convert from one form to another, I need a coupling, means intermediate state between these two. If I am going to convert one to two, then I need the middle stage, we can say the intermediate state, which we convert from first part to the another. So I need that coupling circuit is basically what is coupling circuit is the magnetic field. And as per the unit number 1, I already told you the magnetic circuit and magnetic field. When I'm talking about magnetic circuit, magnetic field, it means I'm talking about BH, flux, reluctance, okay, all this, permeability, the main part, reluctance is also on it. And due to this, we having the basically ferromagnetic materials, which we can easily make magnets, electromagnets, Biot-Savart law, Faraday law of an electromagnetic induction, Lenz law, Course law, Ampere law. These all are laws basically we have studied. And one more thing we studied in the second unit, that is the electromagnetic force. And due to this force, displacement occurs. And if displacement is there and force is there, then we can say that torque is achieved. So my dear student, we have studied all these two things. Then in the unit number 3, which we have studied earlier before this lecture. Now basically I told you one thing, that if I am talking about the fundamentals of DC machine, so basically the fundamentals of DC machine is basically we can say the electromechanical conversion. Basic means the electromechanical conversion, in which I am converting one form of energy to another form. That is basically what? That is the electrical to mechanical, that is voltage, current, power, energy into torque, speed, rotation, whatever. So if I want to convert electrical to mechanical and vice versa, I need a coupling circuit, that is magnetic field, magnetic circuit, which we have studied in the unit number 1 and 2. If force is there, it means magnetic power, then we have studied in the unit number 2. Now in unit number 3 is basically DC machine basics. In DC machine basics, we have studied about the construction. So many things are there in the construction. Okay. In this construction, we have studied that if I am talking about the construction, the commutator is the main part. Why it is main part? Because if I want to convert from one form to another, basically I am getting the bidirectional current. Now I want to convert that bidirectional current to unidirectional current. Then I need a device, a element, a component. That is what? That is your commutator. So commutator we have studied. Okay, brushes are very important. Yoke, feet, and armature. In field we have three things. That is pole core, pole shoe, also known as pole face. Okay, pole windings. That is field winding. Armature core, armature slots, armature basically winding are of 2 types, lap and wave. DC winding are of different types, lap, wave, former wound. So, basically duplex, simplex, or we can say duplex, double layer, single layer. Okay, then dummy coil, equalizer ring, so many things we have seen. So in this lecture of mine, of today's lecture, basically I want to tell you about the types of commutation. We have already studied what is commutation, but now in this lecture, I will tell you about the basics of DC machine as a generator. What is the basics of DC machine as a generator, means working as a generator. Okay, and secondly, types of commutation, how many types of commutation we have in DC machine, because commutation is very important part. Commutator is also a very important part. That commutator basically separates DC machine from AC machines. If commutator is not there, then we can call it as a AC machine. But if commutator is there, then we are, that is why we are basically call them DC machine. Okay, so first DC machine has a generator, and second part is types of commutation basically. And how can we improve commutation? Because commutation is a very important part. So how can we improve it? That is very important. That is very important. How can we improve this commutation? Okay, so if I am talking about the commutation, my dear student, okay, so it means I am talking about the types of commutation. Now, objective. If I am talking about the basic concepts, basically the thing which I am going to tell you, which I want to know basically, that is the objectives. If I am going to start a new lecture, I am going to deliver a lecture to you, my dear student. So there will be some motto from my side, and if you are learning this one, so you are having some objective. So my first objective is have the students, means you, to understand about the basics of DC machines as generator. Means DC machine fundamental is motor and generator both, but in this lecture I am telling you about the DC machine as a generator, okay. And in this we are going to study the principle working of as a generator. First part, that is the basic part. Now second part which we are going to study is basically I want to make student familiar with the types of commutation. How many types of commutation we have in DC machine. So my dear student, I am going to tell you that what are the types of commutation we have and how can we improve these commutation in DC machines. So starting from there, now introduction. Now if I am talking about the introduction, so I have to introduce, first I introduce myself, then I introduce the objective of lecture. So the introduction is what? The DC machines are generators that convert mechanical energy to DC electric energy, and motors that convert DC electric energy to mechanical energy. Means we can say the output of generator is the input of motor, and output of motor is the input to the generator. Okay, I hope you understand. Now most DC machines are similar to DC machines. Most DC machines are similar to the AC machine. That is, they have AC voltages and current within them. If I am talking about AC machines, which means I am talking about the generation of AC, that is alternating current. So what happens? That is, they have AC voltages and currents within them basically. Okay. Now DC machines have DC output just because they have a mechanism converting AC voltages to the DC. Okay. Now I know, and you also know, and I have already told you in my previous lectures, that if we talk about the function of the generator, then we know that the generation of armature current or armature voltage in the form of AC. But we want to convert into DC. That is why it is separate from the DC AC machines, we can say. So DC machines have DC output just because they have a mechanism converting AC voltage to DC voltage. That is your commutator, my dear student, commutator. Now, at their terminals, this mechanism is called a commutator. This mechanism, this element, or this basically the device or part of the DC machine, which is used to convert alternating current to direct current, or we can say the bidirectional current into unidirectional. I hope you understand. Now, it's called a commutator. Therefore, DC machines are also called commutator machines. The different thing from AC machine is that it having the commutator. So commutator is the important part. So we can also call it as commutating sheet. I hope you understand. Now DC generators are not as common as they used to be. Now nowadays we need AC. So alternators are very we can say common, but DC generators are not very common nowadays, because direct current when required is mainly produced by electronic rectifiers. We can directly convert alternating current to direct current with the help of electronic rectifiers. That is, we can say half wave, full wave. In full wave we have two diode or and bridge rectifier. So these all are, we can convert directly AC to DC. So I hope you understand. Now continuation with the previous, that is, while DC motors are widely used, such as in automobile, aircraft, and portable electronics, in speed control application. And where? In speed control applications. I hope you understand that DC generator having the limitation, or DC generator, we can say we are not, nowadays we are not using them, but AC we are using, because nowadays we are working on AC. Okay, so I hope you understand. Now generation. An EMF voltage is induced in a conductor if it moves through a magnet. An EMF is induced, or we can say voltage is induced in a conductor if it moves through a magnetic field. Faraday law of an electromagnetic induction, my dear student, what it states basically, whenever there is a change in flux linkage, then there will be an induction of an EMF. If that circuit is closed, it means the current will generate. So induced EMF and induced current we can find from the Faraday law of an electromagnetic induction, first law. And second law says you what? Tells you what? States you what? The magnitude of induced EMF is always equal to the flux linkage variation. Changes in flux linkage. I hope you understand. Okay. Now, motor action. A force is induced in a conductor that has a current going through it, and it plays in a magnetic field. Whenever there is a current carrying conductor plays in a magnetic field, it experiences a force, that is force law. So that is also known as the electromagnetic interaction. That basically takes place in which my dear student, it takes place in DC motor. In what? In DC. I hope you understand. Now, any DC machine can act either as a generator or motor. We can convert motor to generator or generator to motor of DC machine. I hope you understand. Now moving forward, generator principle. Now what is generator principle, my dear student? An electric generator is based on the principle that whenever flux is cut by a conductor, an EMF is induced. What happened? An EMF is induced, which will cause a current to flow if conductor circuit is closed. If conductor circuit is closed, we can write like this: E induced is equals to V into B, and you know this thing. Now, the direction of induced EMF and hence current is given by Fleming right-hand rule. Fleming right-hand rule. Therefore, the essential component of generator are, first is the what? First is what, my dear student? First is your basically, first is what? A magnetic flux, phi. A magnetic flux, that is phi. Conductor or a group of conductors. Conductor or a group of conductors. Motion of conductor with respect to magnetic flux. How the motion of conductor takes place with respect to magnetic flux. Okay, now moving forward, Fleming right. What it says basically, it looks like this. Now see. Now see. In this thumb shows you the rotation of the conductor. Means we can say force. Through this force it is rotating in a magnetic field induced. What is it? Motion of the conductor, force applied in a magnetic field induced. Now see what it says. If three fingers of right hand, namely thumb, index finger and middle, are thumb, index finger and middle finger, are outstretched so that every one of them is at right angles like this. Okay, with the remaining two, and if this position index finger is made to point in the direction of flux line, magnetic field, this is magnetic field. Thumb in the direction of relative motion of the conductor with respect to flux, and the middle finger gives the direction of the induced EMF in the conductor, similar to that, like this. Okay, now see, in this, it is the motion of the conductor, that is the flux line, and we are getting the induced EMF. Okay, so this showing you the Fleming right-hand rule. We can calculate the direction, we can drive the direction, we can also make the direction of induced EMF or flux or force in the DC generator with the help of Fleming right-hand rule. And the basic principle is Faraday law of an electromagnetic induction. I hope you understand about the basics of DC machine as generator. Basic principle is Faraday law of an electromagnetic induction, and the directional through which we can calculate the direction, that is Fleming right hand. And through this we can say, if I want to make generator, then I have to move the armature into clockwise direction. Means I have to basically input the pram bore. I have to connect the pram bore with the shaft. So I hope you understand. Now moving forward. Now simplest rotating DC machine. What is it? Simplest rotating. Now see, it is rotating like this. Now see the direction. If conductor is moving, this is also moving. You can say like this. Now it is rotating. If it is rotating, my dear student, now see the direction of the current. Now it is moving or not? See the direction of the current. It is moving or not? If it is moving like this clockwise, it moves like this. So like this and like this, like this and like this. Now see, here what I want to show you. First position, second position, third position, fourth position, fifth position, sixth position, seventh position, eighth position. We can say. Now it is rotating. So if it is rotating now, this will changing or not? We can say first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth, like this. So it is rotating. So it making the half positive, again making the half negative, half positive, half negative. So what we are getting? We are getting bidirectional current, that is AC, my dear student. Alternating current, what we say, if we are getting positive and negative half cycles in both cases, it means I am getting what? I am getting the alternating current. So in DC machine, we have in the basically alternating current in it, means in production. Basically, if I am applying Faraday law of an electromagnetic induction. Now, it is also showing here. Now we are getting 1, 2, 3, 4, that is positive, 5, 6, 7, 8, that is negative. So 1, 2, 3, 4 positive, then 5, 6, 7, 8 negative. Okay, like this. And in motor we use this way, Fleming lap band. Later on I'll tell you. Now, not in this lecture, in next lectures. So I hope you understand. In the continuation of this, when the loop is in the position number 1, when the loop is in the position number 1, the generated EMF is 0. The generated EMF we are getting is 0 because the total the coil sides AB and CD are cutting no flux but are moving parallel to. No flux are there but parallel to, so it means 0. Okay, EMF in this, if no flux is cutting, it means as per Faraday law there will be, if flux is cutting, then there will be induction of an EMF and induced current also. But if it is not cutting of any flux, it means there is no EMF. And if EMF is no there, it means if it is closed path, then there will be no current. I hope you understand because it is parallel. Now when loop is in the position number 2, the coil sides are moving at an angle to the flux. Now the coil sides are moving. The coil sides are moving at an angle to the flux, and therefore low EMF is generated, indicated by number 1, 2. See, in 1 we are getting no flux parallel to this, but in this it is too small. In 3 we are getting more, the maximum. See here. When the loop is in the position number 3, the coil sides AB and CD are at right angle to the flux, like this, This is flux, this is like this, and are therefore cutting the flux at a maximum rate because it is perpendicular. So, hence at this instant, the generated EMF is maximum as indicated by point number 3. See here, as indicated by point number 3. I hope you understand now. At position number 4, the generated EMF is less. At position number 4, the generated EMF is less because the coil starts are cutting the flux at an angle. See, in 4th position, at an angle cutting. So we are getting minimum. In 5 we are getting again 0. 6 we are increasing. 7 we are getting the maximum in negative side, opposite direction. At 8 we are getting again the lower value, and if I am talking the 1 again. So I hope you understand about the simplest rotating DC machine. Okay, now moving forward to this. Now 5th, at position number 5, no magnetic lanes are cut and hence indicated is 0 as indicated by 0.5. At position number 6, the coil sides move under a pole of opposite polarity, like this and like this, opposite polarity, and hence the direction of generated EMF is reversed. Is what? Reversed. The maximum EMF in this direction, that is reverse direction, will be when the loop is at position 7. When the loop is at position number 7, and 0 when at position number 0 when at position number 1. This cycle repeats with each revolution of coil. Each revolution of coil means after 360 degree. One cycle completed, half completed 180 degree, 360. Okay, then we can move it, then move it. Though one cycle completed in 360 degree, we can say 2 pi. So I hope you understand how it works. We are getting now. Moving forward, commutation. That is the important part. Why I'm telling you the basics of DC machine as a children? Tell me. Why, my dear student, I was telling you, or I was explaining all these things. That is the basic DC machine as generator, because I want to tell you the role of commutator. Why commutation necessary? Later we'll discuss what are the types, how can we improve. But my dear student, why it is necessary to have a commutator in a DC machine? Why can we skip off? Why can we remove this commutator? We can't do it. We can't do it, my dear student. Why? Because we want DC output. DC output. I hope you understand now. Now see commutation. The armature conductors carry current in one direction when they are under influence of both, that is north pole, and in opposite direction when they are in south pole. Now see here, my dear student. See, what I want to tell you basically, if it is in the one position, means north pole and south pole. If it is in the north pole direction, means one direction, it is in the positive side, but in south pole it is in the opposite direction when they are under S pole, obviously. So when the conductors come under the influence of south pole, from influence of the north pole, the direction of flow of current in them is reverse. First north, then south. If I am coming south, then north. The current direction will be like this, reversed. Okay. So come under the influence of south pole, from the influence of north pole, the direction of flow of current in them is reverse, opposite, we can say. This is reversal of current. This is what? Reversal of current in a coil will take place when two commutator segment to which the coil is connected are being short circuited by a brush. Like this, I think short circuited by a brush means two connections, and I am short circuiting by the brush. That is why we are using brush, because we are short circuiting. The reversal of current in a coil will take place when two commutator segments to which the coil is connected are being short circuited by brush. It is short circuited by brush. I hope you understand. The process of reversal of current in coil is termed as commutation. The process of reversal of current in a coil. If the process we are having, reversal of current in a coil, is termed as commutation. It's termed as commutation. Okay. Now, the period during which the coil remains short circuited. The period during which the coil remains short circuited is called commutation. Means during which the coil remains short circuited, means that during time the coils are remaining short circuited is called commutation period. It's called what? Commutation period. And we can also represent that commutation period with TC. TC. Okay. This commutation period is very small, of the order of 0.001 to 0.003 seconds. So that process is very we can say small, 0.001 to 0.003 seconds. So I hope you understand. Now, commutation is the process of converting the AC voltages and current in. What is the commutation? Commutation is basically the process of converting the AC voltages and currents. Now, why I am getting the AC voltage? Now see, my dear student. Flux basically, field gives you the main field flux. An armature rotates and cuts that flux and gives you the voltage or current as per the Faraday law of electromagnetic induction. So I am talking about this thing. So commutation is what? The process of converting the AC voltages and currents in the rotor of DC machine. and currents in the rotor of DC machine to DC voltages. To what? DC voltages. Okay, and currents at its terminal. And current at its terminal. You see? Now the process of reversal of current in which or in a coil, we can say the process of reversal of current. Now current is reversal. First direction this, second is this. So the process of reversal of current in a coil when it passes through MN. MN is what? I earlier told you, my dear student, that is magnetic neutral axis. Is known as commutator. Is known as what? Commutator. I hope you understand. Is known as what, my dear student? That is commutator. Now, let us consider a DC machine. Now I am considering what? I am considering a DC machine. That will be the motor or generator. Okay. Having an armature wound with ring winding. Which type of winding? Ring form winding, and armature wound. That is armature wound with ring winding. The width of commutator bar is equal. The width of commutator bar, which we place basically, is equal to the width of the brush, and flowing through the conductor is IC. Which we having the commutator bar is equal to the width of the brush, which we connect, and the current flowing through the conductor is IC. Is given by the conductor current, that is IC. Okay, I hope you understand. Let the commutator is moving from left to right. Let the commutator is moving from left to right. Left to right. Then the brush will move from right to left. If commutator is moving left to right, the brush is moving right to left. It is opposite. Like this. If I am moving like this, so brush will move like this. I hope you understand. Now see. At the position, first position, we can say the brush is connected the commutator bar B as shown in figure 1. As shown in figure 1, which I basically this is the figure as shown in figure 1. Now, at the first position, the brush is connected the commutator bar B as shown in figure 1. The total current connected by the commutator bar B into the brush is 2 AC. Now see, what is C? Is connected here. It is in the same direction, so the brush will come here. Okay, now the direction of the current will here be opposite, but now it is the same. It is opposite. That is why it is we can't place a brush here, because we will get the negative sign. One is basically entering, another one is leaving. So we can say the minus sign is this minus this. But see, now these are the same direction. So we can do what? Addition of this. That is 2IC, and we connect what? The carbon brush. We are connecting what? The carbon brush. Now see, when the armature starts to move right, starts to right like this. Then the brush comes to the contact of a bar A. Then the armature current flows through the two paths and through the bars A and B. As shown in figure 2, the total current 2IC collected by the brush remains same. Now see here. In this, basically, in the first case, it is moving right like this. So we are having the opposite, but these are on the same direction. So we are getting IC plus IC. I am getting what? 2IC. I am getting what, my dear student? 2IC. And the resultant of this we are get from the B bar, and we connect a brush at that bar. That will give you the output, that is 2IC. That is what? The 2IC. I hope you understand. Now, in this case, that is the figure number 2. Same current is flowing, that is IC minus X, because it is minus. Here I am getting X minus, or we can say X plus IC. Now see, my dear student, if I am representing again like this, so I am getting IC and this is your X. I don't know what is the current value. So we will write IC minus X. Why I am writing this so? Because X having the opposite direction, reverse, we can say compared to the IC, because IC is entering and X is leaving. So X is leaving means minus, and entering we can use plus sign. So IC minus X we can write here. We can write what? IC minus X. But now see, here X is entering, IC is entering. That what we can write? IC plus X. IC plus X. Now if I place between these two, what will I get? IC minus X plus IC plus X. Though X will cancel out, and remaining IC plus IC. So we are getting what? 2 IC. What we'll get? 2 IC. I hope you understand. I hope you understand my this rule. Now, let's go through it. This is the same thing. Now, as the contact area of a bar A with the brush increases, as the contact area of bar A with the brush increases and the contact area of bar B decreases, means bar A increases but bar B decreases. This thing, okay? The current flow through the bars increases and decreases. Now, current flow through the bars increases and decreases simultaneously. It increases and decreases, then decreases will become increases, and this increase will become decreases. So increases and decreases simultaneously. When the contact area becomes same for both the commutator, when the contact area becomes same for both the commutator bar, then same current flows through the both bars. What will happen? Same current flow through the both bars. Now see here in this. Now, this figure number 3. Now IC is here, it is entering, now it is leaving. So we are getting empty. Now in this we are having no current. But now see here, again we have the IC. So we can write what? IC plus IC of the same direction. Now A is increasing but B is the decreasing. So we can write what? Again same current we are getting, that is 2 IC. That is what? The 2 IC. Now see here. These are the basically the armature winding, which I earlier told you in the commutator. The short brief which I tell you about the commutator part or commutation. So these are the commutator bar, but what I am placing here, that is the brush. That is the brushes. Brush 1, or you can say brushes are there. So they are connected in between A. They are connected between A and B, but A size is increasing, but B is decreasing. A bar is increasing, but B bar is decreasing. So, but the resultant we are getting again same, that is 2 IC. So that is the commutation, reversal of current. You can say changes of the current. Now see here. When the brush contact area with the bar B decreases further, now brush bar B also decreases further, then the current flowing through the B coil changes its direction. Then the current flowing through the B changes its direction. Current flowing through the B, that is B coil, it changes its direction and starts to flow clockwise and starts to flow counterclockwise, as shown in figure 3. Counterclockwise. Now see, this is a counterclockwise like this. Okay, so we are getting this thing. When the brush contact area with the bar B decreases further, then the current flowing through the B coil changes its direction, start the flow current clockwise. See, like this. IC are leaving, then we are in Y, so we can write it is entering. So same direction, so IC plus Y, but here Y is basically leaving and IC is entering. So what we can write? IC minus IY. The resultant will getting what? IC plus Y, IC minus Y, IC plus Y plus IC minus Y. YY are cancelled. So we are getting 2 IC. But A is increasing, B is decreasing. Again we are getting 2 IC. That is the why this statement is written here for this to tell you basically. Now see. When the brush totally comes under the bar A, when the brush totally comes under the bar A, as shown in figure 5, I'll show you basically, and disconnected with the bar B, then current IC flows through the coil B. Then the current IC flows through the coil B in the counterclockwise. In which direction? Counterclockwise direction, and the short circuit is removed. The short circuit is removed. See here. If it moving like this, IC, we are getting 2 IC. So in this bar, I am getting whole 2 IC. So instead of placing B, instead of placing C, I am getting the whole 2 IC current at the bar A. So we are basically fixed on A. In the previous case, it is at B, again 2 IC. But if it is moving, means armature is moving, the brush is also moving. That is why I want to show you here. In this, what is going on? If armature is moving, means rotor is moving. So brushes are also moving. In the first case at B we are getting 2 IC. But in the second case we are getting again 2 IC, but shifted from A, but maximum at B. Small at A, maximum. Now in third case, again it is at B, lefting at A, again we are having 2 IC. Again we are getting at A maximum. Some part at the B and maximum at A. Again we are getting 2 IC. Now at again A means rotating, we are getting again A. So that is the commutation process, how it follows. So I hope you understand how it follows. Now moving forward. Now in continuation of the previous one, that is what? The types of commutation. That is why we can say that types of commutation and how can. I hope you understand with this diagram. How can we place it with this diagram? I hope so. Let's go through it. In this diagram, we are basically, these are the reversal of current, though we are basically one is entering, another one is, this is entering, this is leaving. In this is entering, this is leaving. So I am getting here IC plus I minus X plus IC. The resultant we are getting 2IC. Means brushes are shifting. See here. What I want to basically show you, I want to show you and I want to tell you that brushes are moving. When rotor is moving like this, the brushes place like this. If the rotor is moving like this, the brushes will moving like this. Now see, the rotor is moving like this, like this. So it is brush, it is rotor. So rotor and brush is moving like this simultaneously. See, like this. I hope you understand. So that is the thing I want to show you in this diagrams, in this figures. Figure 1, figure 2, figure 3, figure 4 and figure 5. The statement which I told you, that is the previous statement tells you all this. These are 1, 2, for 3, what happens, for 4, what happens, for 5, what happens. So that is the commutation process. Now I hope you understand. Now it is also shown in these diagrams, in these figures basically. I hope you understand, my dear student. Now moving forward, this also again diagram. Now, if commutation process or the reversal of current is completed by the end of short circuit time, or the commutation period, the commutation is called linear commutation. What is called as the linear, or we can say the ideal commutation. If the commutation process or reversal of the current is completed by the end of the short circuit time, or the commutation period, the commutation is called ideal commutation, or we can say linear in a way, linear. Secondly, if reversal of the current is not completed during the short circuit time, reversal means positive then negative, positive then negative, means positive I am getting, then I am getting negative. So the reversal, or we can say if the reversal of the current is not completed during the short circuit time, then there is a sparking occurs. Then there is what? Sparking occurs at the brush contacts. Sparking occurs at the brush contacts. And the commutator surface is damaged. Obviously it is damaged. If we have the arc on it, sparking on it, what will happen? The brush contacts and the commutator surface is damaged due to overheating, and the machine is called non-ideal commutation. Poorly commutated. When we are having two commutation, we can say ideal or non-ideal commutation. So ideal commutation is what? If the commutation process or the reversal of the current is completed by the end of short circuit time, or the commutation period, the commutation is called what? Linear commutation. We can say ideal commutation. And if the reversal of current is not completed during the short circuit time, then there is a sparking force at the brush contact, and the commutator surface is damaged due to overheating. And the machine is called non-ideal commutation. Poorly commutated and ideal commutated. Now linear commutated. Now see here, we are having plus and minus currents, so we can say it is linearly we are getting B, then commutation periods to C, beginning and ending like this. So we are getting the beginning and ending at the linear, so that comes to the ideal commutation or linear commutation. If I am not getting this, so what happens? Sparking of the brushes. If I am getting the poor commutation, or we can say the poorly commutated or ideally or linear commutation, so this shows you the graph, this graph shows you the linear commutation. What is showing you basically the linear commutation, the plus, and this showing you the basically the plus I, and minus I means reversal of current is there. Within the commutation period, I am getting beginning and ending, so it is linear for ideal. If it is not so, then it is known as non-ideal commutation and poorly commutated. And due to this, what happened? Spark occurs, and that will basically overheat and burn the commutator. That is the important. I hope you understand. Now moving forward. Now methods of improving communication. Now my dear student, the important part is there. The types of communication and how can we improve this. Now my dear student, why I want to improve this? Tell me. Now think about it. Why the methods of improving communication needed? Why I want to improve the communication? Now see, in this case, this way. If this thing happens, then we are getting linear communication. But it is also called as ideal communication. It means I am not getting ideal. In practical, we are having errors. In ideal, we are having no errors, but in practical, we are having some errors. We are having some, we can say errors in simple way. So if I want to remove that errors, we can convert into the efficient, highly efficient. So we basically lie between linear and non-linear, we can say the poorly commutated or non-ideal commutation. So if non-ideal commutation we are having 50% and linear commutation we are 15%. So we are getting the 50% output, not 100%. So we want to remove that 50%, that is non-ideal. So convert into the ideal case. So I need input. I need what? Input. So if I want to improve this thing, so I need to improve. That is why I am needing these methods. Methods of improving commutation. Methods of improving commutation. Now see. Now see this. Improving commutation means to make current reversal in the short circuit coil as sparkless as possible. Now, improving commutation means to make current reversal in short circuit coil as sparkless as possible. Means no spark. Means no overheating. Means no damage to commutator. Means ideal commutator. I hope you understand. The following are two principal methods, or we can say the methods of improving commutation. Of improving what? Commutation. That is resistance commutation, and second is EMF commutation. Now, resistance commutation is what? Now see. Resistance commutation. Now, what is the resistance commutation? Now, reversal of current in a coil, that is commutation, takes place while the coil is short circuited. While the coil is short circuited by the while the coil is short circuited by the brush. I hope you understand. Therefore, there are two parallel paths for the current as long as short circuit axis. Two parallel paths we need. That is why current will flow always flow the short circuit path, not the parallel path, and always flow that path in which we have the low resistance. The current having the low resistance. So the reversal of current in a coil, that is commutation, take place while the coil is short circuited by the brush. Where the coil is short circuited by the brush. Therefore, there are two parallel paths for the current as long as the short circuit exists. Therefore, there are two parallel paths of current as long as the short circuit exists. If the contact resistance between the brush and commutator is made large, now I am making what? I make the large contact resistance between brush and commutator. This made large, then current would divide in the inverse ratio of the contact resistance. What will happen? Then current would divide in the inverse of the ratio of contact resistance. As for any two resistance in parallel, like this. This is the key point is improving commutation. Means contact resistance between the brush and commutator. If this is the commutator, this is the brush, to make a contact resistance basically made larger, increase. Okay. Now, as for any two resistance in parallel, this is the key point of improving commutation. This is achieved by using carbon brushes instead of, we can say, copper brushes. We can use copper, carbon, graphite, but generally we use carbon. I earlier told you why. Because if I am using copper, the resistance will be lower because it is conductor, and in conductor resistance tends to zero. So if I am using carbon brushes, the resistance is high. Though we want to improve the commutation, no sparking will be there. If no current will flow, low current will flow, no current will flow, and low current will flow. See, no current means there will be no current, and low value of current will flow. So this sparking is very less. I hope you understand. Now, this is achieved by using carbon brushes instead of Cu brushes, means copper brushes, which have high contact resistance. Which have what? High contact resistance. Now, this method of improving commutation is called resistance commutation. Now, what I am using basically simple way. Now see here. This is the commutator and this is the brush. So if I make a high resistance between these two, making a high resistance contact resistance path, though low current will flow and less current will flow, though sparking will not take place. So what I have to do, instead of using carbon, I can use basically instead of using copper, I can use copper. We can use what? Carbon, not use copper, because copper is good. I hope you understand. Now that is why is your resistance conversion. Now second is your EMF conversion. Now by help of interpose, I earlier told you that if I want to basically decrease the armature reaction phenomena, or you can say the armature reaction, I need two things: compensating winding and interpose. So that is the interposers or couples we can use. Now what it do, basically why we are using this? By the help of interpose, neutralize the self-reactance voltage by producing reversing. Why are we having reversing EMF? In this method, arrangement is made to neutralize the reactance voltage by producing a reversing EMF in short-circuited coil. This type of coil, short-circuited coil, under commutation. Under what? Commutation. The reversing EMF, as name shows, is an EMF in opposed to the reactance voltage. To what? Reactance voltage. And if the value is made up equal to the latter, that is the part, it will completely wipe it off, thereby producing quick reversal of current in short circuit coil. Quick reversal of current in the one is this. So we can say quick reversal of the current will result in sparkless commutation that we need. That is known as EMF commutations. I hope you understand about resistance. And in resistance we use copper brush instead of carbon brush instead of copper. And resistance EMF commutation we use interpose to neutralize that EMF. Easily short reversal of the current. I hope you understand why commutation is necessary. For DC, two types, basically ideal and non-ideal, linear and polarly. Two methods, resistance and means carbon brush, EMF means interpose. So I hope you understand. Now MCQ related to this, commutation is related to leakage reactance. Why brushes shifting method is not employed in practically commutation? Okay, which method are we getting for ideal commutation? Both methods we have. Okay. In resistance commutation, we add resistance between brushes and commutator and brush, we can say. What is the effect on the time constant of transient as the result of resistance commutation? This is. Which voltage utilize the voltage commutation? Which we can say. To achieve sparkless commutation, brush of DC generator are placed. If the DC machine reversal of current in the coil faster than ideal or linear commutation, then commutation is said to be this retardation. For DC machine in a commutator, we have mica is harder than copper. The insulating material used between commuters and non-resonant mica we can use. Okay, now these are the multiple choice question related to our topic, or basically lecture delivered. Now these are the references. Good books are available in the library. I also took some material from it, so you can just go through it. Okay. Now this is all about from my side. I hope you better understand. Oh, thank you for listening, my dear students. I hope you understand about the basic of DC machine as a generator, and we having the commutation process, types of commutation, and how can we improve it. I hope you understand. So this is all about from my side. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much.